meine Damen und Herren, ich freue mich jetzt hier auf dem roten Sofa begrüßen zu dürfen Erik Ringmaa. Herr Ringmaa ist Chief Commercial Officer des Hafens in Tallinn, Estland. And we're going to do this interview in English. So the Port of Tallinn is the biggest port authority in Estonia, and as far both cargo and passenger traffic are taken into account, the biggest port off the shores of the Baltic Sea. What are the challenges of this port of Tallinn in the near future?
Thank you, of course, for the good question first. But actually, yeah, this is we quite ambitiously say that we are the biggest port in the shores of the Baltic Sea. Actually, this is some third port in the sense of the cargo volumes, and also the third in the number of passengers. We had some 7.9 million passengers last year and 37 million tons of cargo, which is of course not very big if compared to big ports of Western Europe. But about the challenges, you know probably that Estonia is not a very big market as itself, so approximately 80% of our cargo volumes are of transit cargo volumes, which means that we consider Russia and the CIS countries as our hinterland countries, and actually 80% of our cargoes are just coming and going to Russia or from Russia. So our main advantages, or the, let's say our challenges for the coming years, of course, is first to retain the position we have. We have to do a hard job because the competition in the region is going tighter and tighter all the time, but at the same time, of course, we have to build new infrastructure, which means new terminals. Just recently we completed the construction of a new container terminal, but in the future we see, and actually we have space for additional terminals as well.
You mentioned Russia, so how is the relationship to St. Petersburg, for instance? Is there a kind of competition?
Yeah, sure. Of course, if we speak about competition in the region, then of course we have to consider all the cargo types differently. So, for example, if we speak about containers, then definitely Russian St. Petersburg port is our competitor. But if we speak, for example, heavy fuel oil, then it isn't. But yeah, sure, all the ports which are situated in the region are in one or another way our competitors.
How is the Port of Tallinn developing regarding container turnover?
As I mentioned, we just completed construction of the new container terminal infrastructure, which gives us new or additional 350,000 TEU capacity. Altogether, it's around 700,000 TEU capacity, which, considering our actual throughput, is quite challenging for us because we had some less than 200,000 last year. But we see a fast growth there, and actually we see that, let's say, the logistic environment of Estonia is going to create demand for that capacity in the future.
How is the roll-on, roll-off cargo developing?
Fortunately, actually, we have a very good neighbor, Finland, just 80 kilometers from us, which gives us the majority of the ro-ro cargo. But of course, at the same time, we actually have very good connections to Western Europe, and we encourage all the logistic companies to use the existing shipping lines and encourage the shipping lines to open the new ones to that region, because actually this ro-ro market is growing very rapidly right now.
Have you ever been to transport logistic in Munich, or is it the first time for you in the Port of Tallinn?
Actually, this is for not for me personally. This is the first time, and also we are here with a different stand in B5 hall, and this is the first time for us, but actually we are here as a part of Estonian logistic cluster, which consists of some 20-30 different logistics companies, and let's say for majority of us this is the first time.
Is the whole logistic cluster representing here on the fair, or do you have an own stand?
The whole logistic cluster has its own stand. Actually, there are represented not only the port authorities, but also the warehousing companies, the forwarders, some dry ports, carriers, and so on and so on. So actually, the whole supply chain.
So who wants to know something about the meaning of Port of Tallinn should go into hall B5 and stand number?
Good question.
Okay,
B5, yeah,
B5.
but I don't recall the stand number.
Well, but I think it's a very interesting aspect because Estonia has been transit gateway for east-west as well as north-south. So we also keep on looking how is the port developing, and I wish you good luck for the fair. Have a nice time, and thank you that you've been here to the Rote DVZ sofa.
Thank you very much. Thank you.